Hey man, I'm a champ too, so you don't get to talk shit.
Okay. I'm a lowly champ one, or I was
That's
champ
right.
one last season, I think. I don't remember. That was a weird
That's right.
experience though, even getting
Know your
that.
place.
Peasant. Peon, don't speak to me in such a way. Hello. Welcome to Time Well Meant, the podcast where we're not in a funk, we're just a couple of funky hunks. If you're new to the podcast, or if you're returning to listen to us once again, we like to talk about a couple of different things. We like to talk about the internet, we like to talk about video games, and we like to talk about our most important topic, which is mental health and how that relates to our personal lives. I'm Silas, and I am joined by the funkiest of hunks, a fellow by the name of Kirby. How are you doing today, my friend?
We got new Johnny Booth. I'm doing so good. New metal music makes me a happy man. I had to use
Yeah.
my VPN to access Australian YouTube to get it early, but that's okay.
Yeah, you were just telling me before we started recording about the endeavors, but do you want to tell everyone else how you what you've heard and what's happened? Because I know very little about Johnny Booth except for what you've told me, so I don't know what everyone else might know.
Johnny Booth is a metal band, a metalcore band from Long Island, New York. They have just skyrocketed to the top of my favorite bands in the past couple years. And they announced like something coming very mysterious. And then they announced that they're having a new song. It's going to be on Spotify and YouTube and everything else by the time this episode comes out. But today, on the recording day, the only way to listen to it was on Sirius XM on a specific radio station at a specific time. And my bitch ass signed up for the trial because I had to hear it. And then after that, somebody posted on Reddit and said, it's already out in Australia, and I already have a VPN, so I was jamming. And it's good. It's good.
Hell
Nobody
yeah!
else is interested in this, but it's good.
But there's got to be at least one person. There's got to be at least one person. Um,
Chris, go
yeah,
listen to it right now.
Chris,
Talking to you, buddy.
hook your VP. Well, actually, by the time this episode comes out, then it'll be out on in the real world. Man, what's the future like in Australia? That's crazy. How do they get everything before us?
It's better there. Everything
Yeah,
is better there because that song's already out. It's
there
actually,
you
they've
go.
got a piece in the whole country now. Crazy. Even the
What?
venomous animals like stopped
They're like
attacking because
chilling.
the
They're like,
song is so good.
dude, listen, we're
All the
too busy.
snakes and spiders just headbanging.
Yeah, too busy rocking out to bite anybody. Um, yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. It's so funny the lengths that we'll go to for our passions. I always think about that. Like, I can't think off the top of my head of anything like that, but I feel like I've definitely gone to that length of like going the extra mile. Because you were telling me you were like, yeah, I reinstalled my VPN and like, it's like, oh man. I think about like wanting to play old games when I went to go try and play Fallout New Vegas, the PC port, and it's such a dog shit port because Bethesda just didn't care, right? And unless they do a big remaster, they don't give a shit. But so when they did the New Vegas port, it's just clunky and it crashes all the time. So I had to mod the fuck out of it, and all the effort I went into putting into that game to make it work, it made it worth it because then I was like, I love New Vegas, it's so great, but oh man.
I'm going to make a controversial statement here, but Fallout 3 is better.
Really? Than New Vegas?
Mhm.
You liked Fallout 3 more than New Vegas? I
Yep.
think at the time when I played between Fallout 3 and New Vegas, because Fallout 3 was like the first Fallout that I played, I would have agreed with you. But I think now that I'm older and I've replayed, and maybe I need to replay Fallout 3 again, but since having replayed Fallout New Vegas, oh man, New Vegas is so good. It's so wildly good.
Yeah, it is good. I hear that a lot. Most people would probably say New Vegas is better, but I think I just have a nostalgic,
Hmm.
emotional attachment to Fallout 3. To this day, I'll put Fallout 3 in like my top 3 games of all time, man.
Yeah.
Love that game. It was one of the first games I ever got every single achievement on.
No shit.
Back on Xbox 360, dude.
Damn.
I was in high school. I would go home, I would go to school, I would come home and just play Fallout. That
Damn.
was my life for a period of time.
Yeah, I feel like I was that way with Skyrim. I remember just for whatever reason, I was so hyped. I think just out of high school. It was, yeah, 11, 11, 11. So I was just out of high school and Skyrim came out. I went to the midnight release back when those were a
I did
thing.
too.
Oh
Yep.
man, went to
Waited outside of
GameStop.
GameStop.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
It was so funny because I that was the first midnight release that I went to, and like for whatever reason, there just wasn't a lot of people there. Either that or I was just early or people were waiting till the next day. I don't know what it was, but there were only like 3 people there at that midnight release. And I'd been to other midnight releases and it was like, oh, there's a ton of people here. But this one was like, oh, there's like 4 people. Huh. And
Interesting. I remember a line at my GameStop going around the building, not around the building, but like around the side.
no, I don't know what it was. For whatever, I vividly remember Skyrim being like, wow, why is there like no one here? And then I got home and I played it for like 4 or 5 hours, till like 5 a.m. Just, oh,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
good.
those were the days.
Those are the days. God, can't get too nostalgic because it's every single time I think about like certain things, nostalgia hits that just it's like a long pipeline that you just drift down forever and ever. Where it's like, oh, you remember this or like this, and like,
And you get really
remember?
happy and you enjoy it and you're reliving your memories and life is good. And then you remember that you're an adult now and you have to pay taxes
Yeah,
and you can't play video games until 5 a.m. anymore.
bullshit, fucking
Bullshit.
bullshit.
But
This,
on the
this game sucks.
nostalgia train, I mean, we're already
Hmm.
on it. Let's not hop off
No,
just
yeah,
yet.
no, we can ride it for a little longer.
Oblivion remaster is pretty goddamn good, dude.
Yeah, you enjoying it?
I wasn't gonna buy it, but I actually found it on a website for $10 off.
Hell
And for
yeah.
some reason, that was just enough to pique my little lizard brain. Like, that's okay, that's fair.
That's just enough off.
But it's good, man. It brings back all the nostalgia,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was
and it's
I
so pretty.
I didn't get it. I did watch Ramsey and Taylor play it when they initially got it. It's just one of those things that like I don't know. I mean, I loved Oblivion, and I think I played Oblivion to a point where I'm like, I've had enough of this game. And I think maybe if I did replay it, I'd be like, all right, maybe I'll, because I know Shivering Isles is in there and Knights of the Nine were both included. And so it's one of those things that like when I initially saw that, I was like, okay, that kind of makes it worth that $50 price tag. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't really care that much. Like, it's cool, and I'm again, it definitely feels very nostalgia driven. But I'm also like, I'm not super hyped up about it. You know what I mean? I'm not as excited as I may have would have been, you know, a couple years ago. Well, or even maybe a couple years in the future. I don't know. It's just not the right time for me to like care about that.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think what also sold me on it was somebody on Reddit had posted that it's playable. It doesn't run great, but it's playable on the Legion Go,
Oh,
which is
okay.
like my little knockoff Steam Deck device that I have. And it's playable. It's not phenomenal. You get like 30 FPS. But then I had this grand idea. I was like, man, imagine while I'm at work and I take my 1 hour lunch break and I'm gonna play Oblivion.
Yeah.
I tested that out. It kills the whole battery in like 20 minutes flat.
Oh
So,
man.
a little bit of an L, but I got to
Well,
enjoy half a lunch break
there you
on
go.
Oblivion.
There you go. Yeah, man. I think yeah, maybe if I had one of the portable devices, or if I was like more, I don't know. There's just something about remasters nowadays where I see a remaster. Like there was I don't know if it was a remaster, or if it was just like additional content. I think it was like a little bit of a remaster. Days Gone, the
I heard
motorcycle
about that,
zombie
yeah.
game. They did a remaster of that, and that was only $10. You know, it's basically just an upgrade to the base game. And I was just like, I just don't care. Like the base game's
Did you
fine
ever
as is, but
did you ever play that one?
oh yeah, I beat it. I loved the game. I think it's one of those unfortunate games that it was like definitely overshadowed by so many other games, and also just I don't know, people were not as receptive as I feel like they should have been. I loved the game. I loved the guy who acts as the main character. I can't remember his name. He was also Star Killer in Force Awakened, or Force Unleashed, sorry, 1 and 2. And man, like I really liked the game. I really liked the
Oh.
mechanics. I loved the whole motorcycle thing. His little quips are so funny to me sometimes because they're so serious, but they're not serious to me. And I just really liked everything about the game. I also was kind of pissed off because I had played it way later, like after the game had been out for a while. Um, and they kind of hint at a second game, and I think word has kind of been officially made, like there's not a second game coming out. Come on now, like there's. I think all projects with a Days Gone 2 have been canceled. I don't think that just like fucking Titanfall. God damn it! But ugh. Speaking of nostalgia and heartbreak.
So, well, yeah. About Days Gone, I've never actually played it. I've heard pretty much nothing but good things.
Mm-hmm.
I know our buddy Mustache Mike, he loves that game. But one fun fact about that game that I happen to know,
Mm-hmm.
there is an incredibly famous death metal vocalist. His name is Travis Ryan. He
Mm-hmm.
sings for a band called Cattle Decapitation.
Hell
Very
yeah.
lovely, lovely little band.
Right on.
But he did the voice of zombies in that game. He did like zombie voices.
Sick. That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That kind of makes sense to get a metal vocalist to do like and like gurgling
yeah.
and crazy fucking snarling.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, just what he does in the band, but in a video game.
Hell yeah. That game, it really surprised me because of the fact that I'm going to spoil a little bit. Not so much that it won't make you want to play the game, but the first half of the game takes place in one whole section of the map, and then it opens up. Because I was like, oh, the game's about to end. Like when you think you've hit the end of the game, no, you're like, this is the halfway mark, and now there's this whole other section of the game that you get to deal with, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay, this gets kind of crazy. So I really appreciated that kind of deception that the game did. A lot of side stuff to do too. I'm a big side quester when I play games, especially single player games. Love to do side quests. That's a big part of why I love Cyberpunk. And oh man, so much stuff to do in that game. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll give it a try at some point. But I've spent all my money that I care to spend on remasters in the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
I was just telling you this a day or two ago, not while we weren't recording, obviously. I bought 3 games in the past month, which is like it's a big month for me. I don't generally buy that many games.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that Ninja Gaiden 2 was remastered from the Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was remastered a long time ago, but that one was not good. So then they, I guess, remastered the remaster,
Hell yeah.
and that's good. That game's good.
Hell
Love
yeah.
that. We're just on the nostalgia highway. I'm back in high school again. But so there was Ninja Gaiden 2, there was Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, and then
Mm-hmm.
I also saw the remaster of Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah.
It was like $15, I think. I haven't booted that one up yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about that remaster. And on the same topic of what we've already said, I would put Resident Evil 4 also in my top 3 games of all time, dude. Love that game.
Well,
I
so
played
so
the,
you've had not to go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I played the ever loving shit out of that game back on GameCube. I beat it every way you could with all the unlocks and everything, the extra character, the costumes, the guns. So
Jeez.
good.
I'm curious. So if you have Resident Evil 4, you have Fallout 3. What's number 1 or what's in the top 3 with that? Now I need to know. Put you in the spot.
I think just by playtime, it has to be Rocket League.
Yeah.
I mean, no other game has kept me coming back for 10 years like Rocket League has.
How many hours do you have in Rocket League nowadays?
I think like 3,400.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't
I'm
know
a
if I could
champ
put together
too.
a top
Put
3.
some respect on my name.
Hell yeah. I don't think even if I was put on the spot, I think I could probably come up with like a top 5, and even that changes regularly. Like I have like a list of games that I like, but I wouldn't call any particular one of them my favorite. I think Sly 2 is probably would be up there, but that's the only one that like off the top of my head I could be like, this is one that I'll play it any day. Mercenaries is another one. I love that
Yeah,
game.
but why? Why are you putting those games up there?
Because it's just not only is it the nostalgia, but they also hold up. I replay them now and I'm like, oh, this is still great. Like I think that's kind of a big thing for me
Nostalgia
too.
is a large portion.
Yeah.
And that's where my list comes from.
I think for me it's a combination of the two. It's nostalgia, but it's also like it has to still hold up. Because I'll go back and replay games and I'm like, this fucking sucks, bro. Like I think at one point I replayed Chibi Robo, which is a Nintendo GameCube game, and I was like, oh man, I remember this game being so fun and so cool. That game is fucking hard and not. I mean, it's fun to an extent, but it's hard as fuck. Definitely like an
That's
of
how I
its
felt when I
time.
re-downloaded Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah. You were telling me that it was pretty tough. I've never played Ninja Gaiden, any of the Ninja Gaiden games, but I know they are tough.
That second boss whipped my ass up and down and left and right and back and forth. And I was sitting there scratching my head like, how did I beat this
Yeah.
when I was so young? Were my
Yeah.
reflexes better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, them young reflexes. We're sunsetting now. We're on the
Sunsetting.
decline. Oh shit.
Nah. I'm going right up the ranks in Marvel Rivals right now, just up and up and up.
Yeah. You had better. Well, you've been saying that you've been doing a little solo queuing and gotten up with Invisible Woman. How's that been going?
Yeah, I got Lord Invisible Woman. Put
Hell
some
yeah.
respect on it.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
she's the best. She's the best character, and I won't hear anything else. And that's all I need. I need to play as her and just carry my team to the top.
Yeah. That's it. Nothing else.
Yep. Yep.
I
Honestly, I'll 1v6. It's fine.
Yeah. I've been playing a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more Mantis and a couple other characters, but I'm not. Hmm. I've really only been playing Emma Frost. That's it. Emma Snow, as I call her sometimes, because I get the name wrong. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like nonstop. That's literally all I've been playing. Emma Frost. Like I would
She.
instantly go into a game insta lock.
That's funny because Emma is a pretty hard counter for Invisible Woman because as soon as she starts her mind control and it gets near you, you're turned around and walk in and it disables your ult
Yeah.
as Invisible Woman, so you get
Oh,
fucked.
oh wait, does it really? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I need to start
Yep.
using mine. I've only the thing that I do is I'll find Invisible Woman in her ult, go diamond form, slam her, and then kick her out of it. So that way we have a chance to kill her. None of my team
Yeah,
ever
that
follows
kick
up on it, but
hurts.
yeah,
Man, if
dude.
you're near a wall, that kick hurts.
I've learned now that you have like half a second to get around to move your character model around, so you can slam them and then they're stunned for just a moment, and you can kind of move around to then angle yourself in between you and a wall and then kick them into the wall so it does more damage. But such a fun character. I think early on I was like, man, this character's really hard to deal with and hard to play, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and but once I got the groove, something about figuring out how a character works kind of makes you feel good, you know. And I've been
There's
getting a little
I'll tell
better.
you an embarrassing story. I was kind of on my quest. I was like, I want to get Lord Invisible Woman because I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was almost to Lord when I realized her melee has a special. You do 1, 2, 3, and on the third one, it does this like a miniature force push move.
Yeah,
Yeah, it took me hours and hours and hours to realize that.
yeah,
But now Doctor Strange, get in my face.
yeah.
What's that little shield gonna do? Nothing. Ba, ba,
What the fuck is up?
ba.
Oh man, yeah. There's been plenty of games where I've had that aha moment of like a game mechanic that I'm like, this has been in the whole time. I can't think about. There was one that I just recently discovered. I feel like it was in Rivals as well, and it was something that like when it got told to me, I was like, why did I feel so dumb? Like, why didn't I just know this? But that's
That
happened to
game
me
has
in
a
plenty
lot
of
of.
games.
I was thinking about this last night. Actually, that's one thing I've compared Marvel Rivals to Smite before.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a thing in Smite where when you go to a character and you look at their abilities, it gives you exact, precise. This move does a stun for 1.1 seconds. It does 85 damage,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Rivals does not do that, dude. There's so many things that you wouldn't know. Like Invisible Woman, the healing shield that she puts up. If an enemy is standing in that, it slows them.
Hmm.
It doesn't say that anywhere. You just have to figure it out by either being like, oh, that guy's moving slowly, or you're the guy standing in the shield or going, why am I so slow?
Yeah. There's all sorts of little things. I do like a lot of the little aspects of Marvel Rivals that you just sort of have to figure out through gameplay. Who has special melee? Because I know Squirrel Girl also has like special. She has like a melee combo that she does, where she does a 1-2 and then a tail whip. I think I'm assuming the tail whip does a little bit more damage. But yeah, just little things like that that are just like, why did you put this in? But also, that's kind of cool that you put that in. The only thing that I figured out recently is how to shake Emma Frost's ass.
I mean, there's no description of that. I don't know
There's
why they
not.
wouldn't put that in her character description page.
You can, for those of you who don't know, you can throw Emma Frost's shield up and she like throws her hands up and then you like just press W and it like moves her hips back and forth. That's
You have
just
to
the
be like,
fucking degenerate that I am though.
you have to be like nose in a corner or in a wall,
Yeah, it
and
has
then
to be
she
like
just
in a
does
corner.
a little
Well,
hip sway.
it's so funny because I saw it happen in a game and they took out, so like Cloak and Dagger used to have like a cool like dance thing that she could do. They patched that out, which I was kind of pissed about because I had just learned about it. And if I had known that, I would have been playing Cloak and Dagger nonstop.
Not for her abilities, not for her
Just to
viability.
dance. That's why I play Jeff, so I can do the quick roll thing. It's so fun. But
And then you run into our friend Tyler, who runs up to the point and just starts twerking
yeah,
on Venom.
dude, that's what I'm playing this game for. I'm not playing it for the wins or the losses. I'm playing it to find the goofy little animation mechanics that I can find and then exploit. Because the my favorite thing to do at the beginning of a game is I'm spamming the gather to me button, and then I go up to a corner by the door, and I start just kind of like moving back and forth. It's just funny. But I saw it in a game, and I was like, how do you? I was like typing to the person, I was like furiously typing, like, how do you do that? Why are you telling me your ways?
I remember that. I was there.
And I finally, I think the next game I figured it out. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And it's just like a little animation.
I got a new
really all it
main.
is. Yeah. And never so well, even before then, I was already committed to playing her, but it made it that much better. It's just funny.
Dude, you just threw the thing aside like an old toy.
You know what's funny is I still play him. I just don't play him in casuals because I'm still my thing is, and I had this exact same approach in Overwatch. And it's kind of a huge reason why I haven't wanted to play comp. Like I haven't wanted to play comp because this season just hasn't felt good. Funnily enough, I actually played comp today. It still didn't feel good. Not my choice. I played with a friend and she was like, "We're gonna play comp," and I was like, before I could even get the words "no" out of my mouth, we were already in like loading into the game, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So,
Feeling a little bit of a betrayal because we brought up comp last night, and you were like, "I'll leave right now."
I did well because I told her I didn't want to play comp, but I'm not gonna abandon her game. You know, it was like I've already.
So she's more important than the boys. That's what I'm hearing.
No, you just need to force me and not tell me, and then I'll be upset with you like I was with her, and then angrily play and win. Apparently, because that's all it takes.
Cool.
But the thing of it is, I played Thing and I just dominated, and I was like, okay, well, I still got it. Don't get it twisted. It's still clobbering time, and I'll show you any day of the week how we do it on Yancey Street. But you know, I want you to kneel, peasants. Like that's just it's the diversity. But no, like when I played Overwatch, it was the same way where like as soon as I get a character that I latch onto, I will learn every ounce of their mechanics and basically get them to the point where I can play them on in comp. So like because it's just for me, I don't want to learn mechanics in competitive because I can't. My mind just doesn't like how your mind doesn't work with like listening to music and playing games at the same time. My mind doesn't work with like learning new characters while in a competitive setting, right?
Learning while executing.
Yeah, I just can't do that. I need to be taught or I need to learn myself and I need to figure things out so that way I can take that knowledge into the competitive setting so it's second nature to me. Because if I'm sitting there like trying to remember like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do this, it's just going to make me even worse. But if I'm second nature, like with Thing, it's so second nature to be like, I know how to run in and I know I need to jump back. I was definitely a little rusty when I played the other night, but then coming into it, I played him last night and then I played today. And coming back into it, like, oh, I remember how to do this. It just takes a minute to, dust myself off. But once I have that figured out, all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, it all clicks and the cogs all move as they should. But if they aren't there, then nothing's going to spin. And my brain, it just doesn't work like that. I don't know what it is.
I've kind of been treating it a little bit like my Rocket League attitude. I'm like, I'm just playing comp, whatever. Maybe I piss some teammates off if I'm underperforming, but they'll get over it.
I think my thing is that I need to go into it with that mentality a lot more, but it's hard for me to do for whatever reason. My brain, again, it's hard for me to turn off quick play and competitive mindsets because when we play, especially when I play with my friends, I want to do so well. Like when I underperform, it just makes me even more angry at myself. And not being able to figure that out or shift out of that is really hard for me, right? Because obviously if I'm just having a bad night, I'm having a bad night. There's nothing you can do about it. But I don't have that like, oh, I'm just queuing up comp, whatever, doesn't matter. Like, who cares? It's like, no, I'm queuing up comp. I need to kind of sit up in my chair a little bit, right? Like I need to, straighten my posture out. Let's lock in. I don't have that like, it's comp, whatever. Who cares about my rank?
I mean, I care about my rank to an extent, but I'm also just, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah, I get that. I can't have.
You know what? I just realized that I find really amusing.
What that?
We completely inadvertently just touched on one of the topics that I put in our list about taking ranked too seriously. Silas.
We did. How the world works in such mysterious ways.
Because
Yeah,
you just take it too serious, man. Just have a good old time.
I don't know. That's one of those things that I'm curious about. Um, how I could even go about shifting my mind, because I feel like it is just a shift in mindset where, I get to a certain point in a video game when and I think what happens is I get good enough at a game, right? Because I'm very much a grinder. I will, if I like a game, I will grind that game until I'm sick of it. And in doing so, I become good at that game. Like, obviously, I'm not like a pro player or anything, but I get better than the average player, right? Um, and so that's kind of the thing that happens. So then I can start to see kind of how other people are underperforming, or how other people, what other people should do. Um, and so then
Like
if
when you
I,
see another person play thing.
yeah, and I'm like, gotta bite my tongue, because I'm like, I know you're playing thing because like you just want to have fun. When I play thing, it's because I want to win, right? That's my like. If I get outclassed this thing, it's because the thing was just better. That's, I don't have it. It's really hard for me unless my team is just not. And I'll now I'm a little bit better. Last season I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play thing every time. I don't care. Well, I'll just make it work. Now that I'm expanding my hero pool, it allows me to kind of be like, okay, thing isn't working, and it's very clear why it's not working, because of A, B, and C reasons. Therefore, I have to switch. Um, so I don't know, but I don't know what mentality change needs to happen. Was there ever, okay? Let me ask you this then. Was there ever a point in time where you did take rank too seriously, to the point where it was like you were getting way too tilted, and way too much like fuck this and fuck whatever, blah blah, blah, and like angry and shit?
Yep. Yep. Years ago when I was still in like diamond ranks and I was just so dead set, I'm going to get a champ. I want to be a champion. And I remember getting real mad at some games when I was getting close. I don't really know exactly what changed. Maybe just years have passed since then. There came a point when it was honestly, it's probably a little bit of a Bubba Gump Zach, who was very much like, we'd just get on for the night. And I would, we'd say, let's play Rocket League. And he's like, all right, straight in the fire. We're going straight in comp. And I'd be like, oh, no, no, no. I need to get warmed up in quick play. And he's like,
Yeah.
nope, straight in the fire. No fucks given. And that's just sort of shaped my attitude. I've just always done that ever since. It's
Hmm.
whatever. I will go into quick play if I want to play a character that I know I don't know.
Yeah.
So like I was trying to get a little better with Namor because of his Hulk team up is so strong.
Yeah, it is.
You're seeing Hulks more often now, but yeah, he just doesn't really gel with me, or maybe I just haven't spent enough time with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that one in quick play, but I have a lot of characters I'm pretty good enough at, I would say, that I just go into comp without really being too concerned.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. There's certain, like, I would never pull out like Black Panther, or
Oh God,
Spider
no.
Man, or even like Loki or Hulk on like the tank side. Like, none of those characters have ever really caught my attention. Like, I think I played Hulk really early on, and I'm sure I would probably like Hulk now where he's at. But I also just not really what I want out of a tank right now. Um, but the thing about it is like I still just don't have that, because I've played comp with y'all, and I think I'm at that place with Rocket League alone, where I just don't play that game enough to give a fuck, right? And I think if I were only playing Marvel Rivals like once a week, or if I was playing it like once a month, like just once every fucking whenever, and I really didn't care about the game, and I didn't know that much about the game, I think I'd care a lot less. Let me give you an example. When I play Hunt Showdown, okay, with some friends, because I have a couple of friends that still like to play Hunt. Every now and then they'll say, "You want to play Hunt Showdown?" I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll reinstall." Um, when I play Hunt Showdown, that game, yeah, I get pissed if I get killed, but I'm not like, whatever, go next. I have fucking all this like crazy like, so like in terms of Hunt dollars that you can use to buy the equipment, I have like 30K. So I'm not losing anything when I go in with like a stupid funky build, right? Like, I'm going in with like four of the most expensive guns for no reason, right? Just
Nice.
dual wielding fucking the I can't think of the long ammo whatever. Anyways, the big revolvers. I'm just like, fuck it, who cares, right? Like, um, I don't care. Like to me, it's just I'm so unbothered. So then when I go in and die and lose that, I'm not mad about me losing it. I'm mad because there's someone like way better than me just sweating their little brains out when I'm just like trying to have a casual time. And I think that that's kind of what um, also takes away from what I enjoy about video games is like I think I get to a point where my MMR puts me with people that aren't there to just have fun, right? When I played ranked with my friend earlier, she's lower ranked than me, and she's definitely not as good as me, which is fine. She plays the game to just have fun, right? You know, getting to silver, like she was like, I want to get to silver 1 by the end of this season. I was like, right on, hell yeah, girly, you got this.
We
Um,
believe.
we believe, but like the people that I mean, watching the people that she was playing with, like I was doing stuff like I'm in there, right? I have my mentality of like we got to do this and what's happening with our team, whereas like the rest of our team is very much just like casually cruising along doing their thing, and I wish I had that. I basically what I'm trying to say is I wish I sucked at video games, but I'm blessed with being a god tier gamer.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Now
So on the
my
topic of taking rank too seriously, your opinion is I just take it too seriously, and that's how it is.
Yeah, kind of. I don't because I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for why I take it too seriously. You know what I mean? Like I don't have an answer for.
If
Okay,
you go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say if you played a game of Marvel Rivals ranked, and it
Yeah,
was just a nail biter back and forth down to last second in OT, and you'd lost.
I'm
Are
still
you mad?
pissed. Yeah, oh yeah, because there was something that I could have done better to win us that game, and I
Well,
didn't do it.
yeah, but that's part of the fun of it for me, and that's why I'm so drawn back to Rocket League. Rocket League is a stellar example of this. You know, if it's just Zach and I, you know, sometimes he fucks up, sometimes I fuck up, but I could go back in a replay or even, you know, right after the game ends, I can kind of soul search and be like, yeah, if I would have just gone left instead of right here, if I would have made that shot instead of whiffing it wide, you know, if I was a little better, that would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to challenge myself by playing people who are around my skill level, maybe a little better, because you learn more. I mean, that's how you end up with 3,400 hours in a fucking video game, just constantly learning and constantly getting a little better. It's a good life
Yeah,
lesson.
I think my mentality of how I approach games is also different than yours too. Like yes, I do want to play people who are better than me and then learn from them, you know, learn from the mistakes that I made going against them. But I also like, I'll go the extra mile. Like when we were playing Rocket League years ago, like when I was playing regularly before, before I quit, cause I basically just quit the game, put it down completely. I said, fuck this game. I never want to play it again. I was like every day doing in-game trainings before to warm up. I would play multiple rounds of quick play, and then I would go into ranked, right? And in between then I was also like watching videos to learn tech. I was training like aerials. I was handling it like it was a fucking job, right? And that's how I have fun with games, right? Like getting better at a game to me is more fun than like getting to the point where like I'm the one who's like making other people upset and rage at me. Like my favorite thing in Overwatch was like getting called a hacker. I was like, oh man, that you have no idea what that's doing to me, right?
Thank you.
Like all of these hours are worth it, right? When I would play Widow, back when Widow was crazy, and people would lose their fucking minds, like, there's no way you're not hacking and shit. And I'm like, yeah, eat it. I love this, right? Clutching up and just having the ability to clutch up, or like, you know, when y'all would like hype me up for like hitting a nasty goal, right? I'd go up in the air and fucking flip around and fucking do whatever at a crazy angle, which I can still do like every once in a blue moon. It's not nearly as often as it used to be. But like having that ability to do that, like that's what made the game fun for me. Like, and then learning how to do that was also what made it fun. Um,
Yeah, I don't think I've
just
probably spent an hour in training since Rocket League came out.
mhm.
I've definitely gone in and dicked around a little bit, particularly, you know, you jump on and the boys are in a game, you got to wait a few minutes,
Yeah.
smack the ball around, get the fingers warm, but
Hmm.
no training, no videos, just banging my head against the wall until I hit champ 2. But back to kind of what I was saying is about that close game, and it's a little easier to digest in Rocket League
Hmm.
because there's only two of us. The
Yeah.
games are 5-10 minutes long, but you know Zach and I constantly were playing and we're having we might lose a couple games in a row, but if they're tight, close games
Yeah.
where it's easy to tell that our skill set was close, we'll still be, that sucks. GG though, it was a good game.
Yeah.
Versus sometimes you get those people who were previously supersonic rocket legends or whatever you call it, and their rank has degraded, and now they're down here in the slums with us and champ,
Yeah.
and they just stomp us. Those aren't fun. Those aren't
Yeah.
fun. But close
Yeah.
game, win or lose, I feel is fun.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think having you and Bubba and TJ all kind of have that same mentality of just like, well, it is what it is. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And being able to move forward helps my mentality of being able, because I think Rocket League right now is the only game where I can go in, lose. Well, and I'm also right now, my mentality with Rocket League is I'm like, excuse me, I'll play like 3 or 4 games. Like last night, TJ and I we played like 3 or 4 games, just kicked the shit out of everyone that we played. I was like, that's it for me. See ya. And I'm like, I'm done. Like there's no more Rocket League that needs to be played because I've gotten just enough dopamine to be like, I don't need to push it any further, right? I'm done. We're good. I'm gonna go play fucking Helldivers with Tyler. And that's that. Like
I just want another good game every time until it's midnight. Win or lose, give me one more good game.
Yeah. Chasing that high, I guess. I don't know.
Hey man, I'm a champ too, so you don't get to talk shit.
Okay. I'm a lowly champ 1, or I was
That's
champ
right.
1 last season, I think. I don't remember. That was a weird
That's
experience though, even getting
Know
that.
your place.
Peasant. Peon, don't speak to me in such a way. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That is something that I probably need to talk to a therapist about that, honestly. Like, why can't I take ranked just like as a casual thing? I always think about the clip. There was a clip a really long time ago that I watched of this guy playing Tracer in a Masters Overwatch game. And he was just losing his mind, right? I don't even remember where I saw the clip. But the guy was just freaking out. And the whole time he was like, why do I care so much? Why do I care? This is literally just a game. Why do I care so much? He was like, you could feel the anger and the grit in his voice. But he was like, I don't know why I care so much about this fucking stupid game, but I do. And that's kind of where I'm at, where I don't know why I care so much. I don't know why my brain has this on and off switch for that competitive mentality. But I don't know. When I want to win, I want to win. And if I can't win,
When
it
you don't,
upsets me.
you don't care.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
why you won't. That's why you won't play fun games like Party Animals with us.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking goofy little floppy little
I wanna
puppies
win.
and polar bears and shit throwing each other off the bridge.
I think
And you're getting upsetty spaghetti.
if I've had a few drinks, then I don't give a shit, right? If I've knocked a couple back, give me a marg or two, and then I'm like,
A
whatever,
marg.
yeah, because then I'm just like, it just like takes away that switch then is like gets covered up or something. I don't know, so I can't turn it on
Like a bird cage, you put the
because I've
cover over
definitely
it and forget all about it.
I've been a little bit buzzed and I've played games and I'm just like but I also don't want to have to like drink or like get kind of buzzed just to like play a game
Yeah,
casually. No, I don't want that. So I got to figure out a natural way. I think I need to start meditating or something. Yeah, that's what it is.
Ooh,
I've
meditation.
I've been
Have you tried
doing,
have you considered trying like oxycodone or something?
but no. That's such a huge shift. No, not at all. No, I've been looking at I've watched a couple of different videos recently about kind of like modern age problems, and just different things about mentality and a little bit about like existentialism and shit like that. And a thing that kind of comes up regularly in these videos is like just meditate, just like take some time to just think about nothing, especially in an age of information where you're constantly bombarded with everything all at once. It's very easy to get lost in the sauce and kind of just you get overwhelmed sometimes. A lot of people have anxiety or have you know worries about the world, and a lot of that can be solved, or not even necessarily solved, but you can alleviate some of that anxiety with just like turn the TV off, turn the phone off, put the phone down, whatever. go outside, go hang out with your friends in a space where like go bowling or something, and don't, keep your phone in your girlfriend's bag or whatever. Like, who cares? Like, just take a step away from everything right in front of you and look outside of that to kind of, you know, be in a healthier
You sparked a
space.
thought. Years ago, I worked a retail job, and I would deal with a lot of, entitled people, really stupid people,
Hmm.
coworkers that didn't want to work, management that doesn't give a shit, that type of thing. And I learned if I had like a rough day at work, I worked there full time, so 8 hours a day.
Yep.
I would go home and I would just be crabby and I would be like really short fused, particularly with my girlfriend, now wife, or my son. Just little things would piss me off a lot more than they should because I had this stressful day at work. And I learned, like, as I'm driving home, I would kind of like collect my thoughts and be like, I'm too pissed off today. And if I felt that way, as soon as I got home, I would go in my bedroom, close the door, lay on my bed, and just stare at the ceiling for like 10 minutes. I guess that's
Yeah.
meditation now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I never really intended it to be. It was just like, I always just called it like my decompress time. I had to just
Yeah.
decompress, silent, no phone, no TV, just me and that dot on the ceiling.
There you go.
And after that, dude, I'd be good to go. I mean, good to go.
Yeah. It's
So I
it's funny,
guess, huh?
yeah. It's funny what a little bit of reflection can do. Definitely since I've been unemployed, I've had a lot of time to myself. I've had a lot of time to reflect and like, time with just my own thoughts, where a lot of times that's really scary because, your thoughts can lead you down some really dark paths, or you can, it could just be really scary to think about what the future holds, or what you want to do or plan on doing. And having that moment of having the time, really, because I think that's the main issue with a lot of modern people is like, y'all are working so much and everything is happening all at once. You're so much is going on, so much that you're doing ends up leading back to like, oh shit, I don't have any time in the day. So you don't, there's some people who don't think about to take that time to like go to your room, close the door, just stare at your ceiling, give it 10 minutes, because they get so lost in the sauce. It's like, man, I don't have
Gotta
any
go,
time to
go, go.
myself.
I gotta
But
make
you,
dinner. I gotta do the
yeah,
laundry. I gotta pay these
exactly.
bills. I gotta pay taxes.
Yeah, fuck. I got to pay these taxes right now. What the fuck? They're going to pay themselves. Um, so I think, yeah, you brought up a really good point. I think it's important. It's important to take that time, right? To give it a minute, and just sit and do nothing. Because that's like really what meditation boils down to. Like, everyone thinks about like you're like, oh, and like,
Well,
no, it's sit down. It's clearing your mind. It's emptying your brain. It's being, thoughtlessness essentially, and just like finding a place of calm, right? Um, and a place where you can do what you need to do. It's like sorting out a library. The books are all over the place. You got to put them back in their place for just a moment. You may not get them all where you want them, but you'll get some of it cleared up, so it's a little bit less messy.
a little
Um,
cleaning is better than none.
exactly. Take it a day at a time.
Man,
And
I never put two and two together. I never realized. I guess I was doing a form of meditation.
yeah, there you
And
go.
I vividly remember I would, I'd be pissed off like, oh, this bitch that I had to deal with today, she's gonna come back and bitch more tomorrow.
Yeah,
And I'd be laying there staring at the ceiling, and those thoughts would creep in like, no, fuck you, get out of my head.
yeah.
We're doing nothing right now.
We're
That
doing
dot on the
nothing.
ceiling is the most interesting thing in the world.
There you go. I think, yeah, anytime I've done like because I've done guided meditation before, where like someone will kind of speak to you, like it's like podcasts and stuff that have done that. Um, and a lot of the times they'll tell you like, hey, find a single point where you can focus on, and that's where all of your focus goes. And if you're someone like me who has trouble focusing, that then becomes like a task, right? That then becomes like, if you're like, I need you to focus on this, it's like, okay, I'm doing it, and like all other thoughts leave your brain, right?
And then they try to
um
creep back in, and you got to fight them out. Like, no,
yeah,
that spot.
exactly, need the spot. It's really funny. It's cool that you got to experience that kind of return to form of like, oh shit, look at this, wow.
I noticed I would do it because, like I said, I'd come home in a bad mood. And
Hmm.
then my son was just a little kid at the time. So he'd, spill something, drop something, knock something over, just be loud, whatever. We lived in a third floor apartment at the time.
Mm.
And my son could not stomp. I'm sure those
Mm.
neighbors hated me. Just little shit like that would piss me off way more than it should after
Yeah.
a stressful day. And that was when I just started learning, like, I'm just 10 minutes. Everybody fuck off. Leave me alone for 10 minutes. And then I'm all yours.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that's yeah. I think finding that in yourself, because like I think about panic attacks for me. You know, when I was growing up, like I started having panic attacks at 15, and I didn't know what was happening and I didn't know what to do. But like over time, I've sort of figured out like what works for me. And I think that's kind of similar to how you were able to be like, this is what works for me, to just like take this time. And finding what works for you is fucking hard, man. Because like you think that somewhere there's got to be some answer that you're just not seeing, but really you just need to figure it out. Um, and it might have been something that you were taught when you were younger, and you need to be kind of a little bit more mature and a little bit more um, in the right mind space to like adapt those lessons. I know there's plenty of times when I've had things that I experience, and I go, oh shit, like this is something that I've actually already known about, or like, you know, one of my parents told me about this, or like someone has told me this in the past, but clearly I wasn't like, you know, in the right mindset to be like, this is, you know, I need to attribute this to my life right here and right now, and it'll change everything and make everything better. It's like, no, you just weren't ready to learn that at the time.
Because we can hear things but not absorb them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, there's so many times where like my mom has said, well, both my parents have said some incredible shit to me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like at the time, it means nothing to me. But then fast forward 5, 10 years and I go, oh my God, why did I not think about this? Um, you know, even my older brother, like just people in my life, my friends and shit have just said some shit. And I'm like, that's very profound. Okay, on to the next thing. But then later down the line, I go, well, you know, I remember this. And all of a sudden it's like, oh man, it kind of reminds me. It's funny because I had this conversation with my mom. Um, this was like maybe a week or two ago, where she was talking about how she didn't understand how there's younger generations out there now who it's kind of the same way with them, where like there's certain lessons that we as the older generations can teach to them, but they're just not kind of in that right mindset to learn it, right? And that's something that she kind of helped me figure out, where it's like it's just not, you have to have that mentality of like, I want to learn and I'm ready to learn and I'm like here to learn, versus I'm going to learn this lesson later on when it's sometimes too late, but sometimes it's not the right time. So I don't know. It's very odd.
I always think about in my late teenage years when I just didn't care about anything or anyone in the world, including
Mm-hmm.
myself, and was just making every poor choice a teenager can make. And my grandmother was there, and I'm sure I've talked about her before. She was phenomenal. She had words of wisdom all day, every day,
Mm-hmm.
and they all just went in one ear and out the other
Yeah.
until I was a little older. And particularly after I had my son, and I started going to her like, "How do you do this parenting thing?" And that's I think when a lot of the things that she taught me started sinking in, and she would even be like, "Yeah, you remember 10 years ago when I told you this thing that's profound?"
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you one of the greatest things my grandmother ever said that sticks with me. I mean, like every day of my life. Um, if there's like a situation that you can't control and you're pissed off about it, it's making you miserable, whatever. She would just say, "Tis, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. So
There you
let it go,
go.
let it be, take a breath."
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I say that to my wife sometimes. She's kind of an anxious person at times, and sometimes she's stressing about money or a bill or whatever, something needs done, timing, scheduling. I'm like, hey, tis,
Tis.
tis.
There you go. Very, very wise words. My dad has definitely given me some similar advice of, I think I've talked about this before, of like, is there something you can do about it today? Nope. All right. Well, then it's a problem for tomorrow. And you can take today to not like, don't worry about it today if there's nothing you can do about it today, right? Um, yeah, it is what it is. Tis what it is.
Tis what it is.
Definitely not always the best mentality for every problem, but to certain problems it definitely applies, where it's like, yeah, you're right. There's nothing you can do about it. So give it some time.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Very wise people in our lives for sure.
Yeah, we were blessed to have them.
Yeah. I think it's something that late as I've grown older, I'm able to appreciate them more, right? Like I appreciate what my parents have said to me, and what my siblings and family and friends have been able to say to me. And I think now I'm able to absorb that information a lot more. Whereas before it was like, no, I'm doing my own thing. I got this shit figured out. I don't
Yeah.
need you. Whereas like I still don't have shit figured out, right? Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. Um,
You're able to look
uh,
back at those years and you're just like, I did everything wrong. Every
yeah.
opportunity, I made
Oh
the
yeah.
wrong choice.
Oh yeah. Every single time I'm like, what was I thinking? What was going on in my brain where I was like, this is a smart move. This is the right decision. Like, no, it wasn't. It was a terrible idea. God.
Yep. Growing up's fun. Your joints start aching a little bit, but you get smarter.
Yeah, yeah, weirdly
Wiser.
enough.
I want to say wiser.
Yeah, wiser definitely. There's
Definitely not smarter.
definitely not smarter. No, I'm still very dumb in a lot of ways. Wise, yeah, I feel like I've gotten a lot wiser. I feel like I can convey wisdom a lot better. Like I think that I've always had some wisdom, but being able to convey it in a meaningful way is what's changed in a lot of ways. Or not only being able to convey it, but also being able to understand it, right? Because again, it's all been in my brain, but it's like I've never been able to apply it or understand or say, hey, this is what's happening, or this is how I can apply this to this, or this is how this affects this. Just that type of shit.
I think there's a
Which I
lot of
think,
things that
yeah.
our parents would tell us or try to teach us that we just hadn't experienced enough to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a good example for me is like anxiety. Many episodes ago, I talked about how I went to a psychiatrist for the first time and was describing to her how I was feeling. She's like, "Yeah, that's anxiety," and I was like, "Nah, it can't be. Nah."
No way. Not
But
me.
I remember, I think back to a lot of things my grandma told me about how to deal with that. And at the time, I didn't understand what anxiety was. I didn't know what I was feeling or experiencing. So those words meant nothing. They just bounced right off.
Yeah.
But now I have a little context, a little wisdom under my belt. Now I can apply the things she taught me and be better for it.
There you go. There you go. Weird how that works out. Weird how I always appreciate the conversations that I have now, because then who knows how I can apply them later. Like I think the conversations that you and I have are very powerful, where it's like, it's that same sort of thing where like you're able to teach me shit and I can teach you some shit and we learn together and grow together. It's a weird fucking wacky world, but I love it. I'm here for it. It's always
It's pretty it's a pretty
interesting to
beautiful
me.
thing. On this podcast we can have these deep conversations and hopefully maybe it helps somebody somewhere out there.
Yeah.
But then probably within 10 minutes or so, we're going to be back to like dick and fart jokes,
Yeah.
right?
Talking about the sperm
Hell yeah.
race.
Really? Okay.
Now, apparently that shit was fake. That shit was fake. I
What?
I know. I was upset because and I don't know how, if it was fake or not. I've gotten mixed reviews. I've seen the videos. I loved how they did it like a fight sponsorship of like, my sperm is going to move so much faster than his and shit like that. Like, my swimmers are strong versus like, and then it's the actual race. But then I saw this video of this doctor going like, that's not how sperm moves. And this is clearly like not real and CGI. And whoever made this shit is just like fucking with the internet.
Ah, God
I'm just
damn you,
like,
Chat GPT.
motherfucker. Oh, God damn it. It just goes to show the dead internet theory is true, and it's all just bots. Do you know
All
what do you
bots, all the way
what do you
down.
what do you know about the dead internet theory? I just
I've
recently
been
started
telling,
delving into it.
I've been talking about the dead internet theory for years.
Yeah,
I almost want to say I brought it up on the show before,
you might
but
have.
like when I see I'm 99.9% off of Facebook now, but every once in a while I'll sign in there and see what people are pissed off about today. But you'll see these obscenely, obviously AI generated images of our president like carrying like rescuing a wounded puppy dog in the middle of a hurricane in a street with water up to his chest.
Yeah,
And then you see people commenting, "Oh, he's so heroic. He's the best. He's going to do that to America." And all politics aside from this, that was just an example. There's no way. There's no way
yeah,
people see that, fall for that, and then comment this comment. That's got to be a bot. And then you go look at the profile, and it's just an American flag picture, and it says, "True patriot, God-loving man."
yeah.
You're not real, dude. You're not. That's ChatGPT.
No, I think that is a real person that's falling for the chat GPT, the AI.
It can't be.
Dude, I'm telling you, I listen. I feel like I've talked to not a ton of older people, but some of the stuff that I hear people say when I like go out into the fucking world, or when I talk to people who are older and they tell me about stuff that they saw on Facebook, and I go, please don't tell me you're actually like, the moment that someone like tells me something and I go, oh, that's interesting. Where'd you hear that? And they go, oh, I saw it on Facebook. I go, hands off. At this point, I don't care. Like you can say whatever you want, and it's just a funny story to me now. It is no truthful information within it at all, right? Um, it's so funny that now, back in the day, back when we were in high school, our teachers used to say Wikipedia is not a source. Which, by the way, fuck you, it is. It absolutely
No,
is.
it's
Such a great resource. But no, the real source that is not real is fucking Facebook. Facebook is not a source. Okay, don't get your fucking information from Facebook, please. Oh my god. Um, and I
if
think
you
the
see. Go
yeah,
ahead.
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you see something on Facebook that even gives you the slightest inkling, this doesn't sound quite right. You
Yeah,
need to go to Google and don't read the AI blurb at the top for the love of God.
please. Yeah,
You need to do some research.
yes. The funny thing that I always think about is, I mean, exactly right. How easy it is to just do a little research. Um, one of my previous jobs that I had was literally doing that, where like there'd be information, and I have to figure out if that information is accurate, right? And so then I
Hey, I
have to
had
go
that
off
job too.
and yeah, yeah. But you have to just like do like just and it's not hard. That's the thing that was crazy. It was like takes you like a couple minutes, pretty easy to do. Um, it, God, it's just it gives me conniptions. My brain just kind of like wants to shut down. But the idea of the dead internet theory is something that I haven't delved into deeply until this past week, where I watched this really great video. I need to send it to you. This really great video about the dead internet theory. And
Me
it's
too.
just so good. But it was just so interesting to me because it's not something that you think about, right? It's not something that I guess crosses your mind regularly of like how many people are we interacting with that are real, right? Like I could probably
Oh, it
tell, like,
it crosses my mind
yeah.
regularly when I'm on Reddit and I see absolutely ridiculous things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, either that person is 12 or that person is a bot,
Yes.
not a person at all.
Just it's a little scary, man. It's definitely it's very uncanny valley. There's that like something to be fearful of in that experience where like I don't know, I want to believe that there's more people out there on the internet than there are, but at the same time like maybe not. Maybe it's just bots, maybe it's just these people who are fucking around faking it.
I,
I don't know.
yeah, I wonder if maybe I have a little more faith in humanity because I read these just completely outlandish statements. My mind immediately goes, nah, nobody would ever put that sentence together.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
But it could
I'm
also be trolls, or it could be
yeah.
children,
That's
or it could be somebody mentally unwell.
it could be just someone dumb. Like I don't know. I think this is gonna sound kind of fucked up. I'm sorry to any of my family. That's not mom, you're not included in this. I know you watch this. Chris, you're also not included in this. Um but like when I see like some of my extended family post some shit on Facebook or like they repost some shit on Facebook and I go, there's no way you think this is real. I'm like, maybe we are just like getting dumber. I don't know. Maybe idiocracy is like really truly coming to fruition. And that's I think what
Idiocracy
worries
was the
me.
blueprint, and they didn't realize it.
Yeah, they had no idea. I think that's what kind of worries me more is like people are content with like getting dumber. It's not something that like it's very scary to me. And I mean like don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of person who's going to sit down and read the dictionary or some shit. I'm not trying to get super smart, but I am trying to keep myself well informed enough to be like, I'll look at news articles every now and then or watch some informative videos. But then like if I hear some shit that I'm like, there's no way that's real, and then I'll go look it up and confirm whether or not it is. Like, and it's as easy as that, right? I can take 10 minutes out of my day to read an article to be like, is this legit? Or like now if someone posts like a fucking hour-long video essay, I'm not gonna go fact check that. That's too much work. That's for someone else to do. But if it's like a, 30-second clip on TikTok, yeah, I'll go fucking, let me see how real this is.
TikTok knows all.
It's like 50-50. It's definitely like 50-50. A lot of it's super biased and they take,
I think that's
um, I guess that's just every political news stuff. It's mostly politics in general. The science stuff
and
is usually pretty
everything
accurate.
gets politicized.
Yeah, it
Like things
does.
that don't actually have anything to do with politics end up whatever.
Yeah.
I think a distinction there is, and you hit the nail on this, and I said the same thing. If we see something that seems ridiculous and not right, we want to go research it and we want to find out the truth because we are like truth seekers, basically. But certain other people will just read it and not question it and immediately get emotional about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit that whatever politician in whatever state did this thing.
Yeah.
And they're just pissed off about it instantly.
They're giving
not putting that
lawnmowers to
critical thought.
toddlers? This is insane. What the fuck? They don't need lawnmowers.
Oh, wait, where? I need a mower.
Yeah. It's Arkansas. You willing to cross state lines? But
Checks out.
Do you have a
Move to
toddler?
Arkansas, free mower. Oh, I don't have a toddler. I don't want one either.
Yeah. You could Photoshop yourself. Get ChatGPT to transform you into a toddler.
Get ChatGPT,
submit the photo.
put a baby in my arms.
Yeah. Here we go. Getting my lawnmower tax credit. Oh god.
Damn, I just wonder like if people would go for that. Like, you ever see those ads where it's like a house for sale, and on the for sale sign it says free pizza with purchase or free tacos or something? Like, bro, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I get a free pizza? Sign me up.
It's a medium too. You don't even get like a large. You're getting like a medium.
Yeah,
and it's got
single
one top. Yeah, one top. Like you're not getting. Don't even think about getting the fucking stuffed crust.
Oh shit.
Specialty is off the menu. Oh god. Hey, I don't know. I think I always think back to like ignorance is bliss, and I wish so bad that I was just dumb. I wish, dude. There's so many. It's funny because I was just having this conversation a little while ago with my mom, about. I just wish I wish I was dumber than I am, right? Because I'm just smart enough to understand some things, but I wish I was dumb enough to not understand anything and just to live a nice, happy, carefree life where everything I hear on all the social medias is always right, and I don't have to worry about these things. I don't have to think about these problems. I don't have to solve anything because it's all solved for me.
This is gonna sound so mean, but when me and my younger brother were younger, I would ask him frequently, does it make your life easier or harder being as dumb as you are? I love you, bro. I love you, Hunter. I hope you don't be offended by me saying that. But because my thought is like, if you're that stupid, you don't realize he's not stupid. He's not stupid for anybody listening. But
he's just your brother.
So I perceived him as being the dumbest person in the world. But if you are that stupid, you don't even realize the problems that are occurring around you and to you.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe you're so stupid you cause more problems, but you're too stupid to realize you're causing the problems. So it's just a vicious cycle if nothing ever bothers you because you're so fucking stupid.
I've met some people, and it's very weird. I think having traveled and having worked with a lot of different people has helped me kind of realize like there are people out there that just like, there's nothing behind the screen, right? It's all right there. That's what's being presented is right there. And it's a little scary because I've met some people who are just like, I'll drop something that I think is very common knowledge, and they go, "Are you serious? That's real?" And I'm like, "Oh no." And they'll be like my age or older, and I'm like, "Oh no. That's not good." Ooh, and it's a little scary. It's a little scary to think about, but what are you going to do?
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is, I mean, hey, they seem happy. They seem super happy.
Sometimes those people do seem to be the happiest,
It's
don't they?
bullshit. It's bull. They don't have shit to worry about, so, whatever.
It's that damned old critical thinking, man. It's a curse.
Critical thinking sucks.
I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that. Hit me with some dick jokes.
Yeah. Penis.
Ooh, that's gonna get clipped. Me just going, hit me with some dick.
Hit me with some dick. Oh man. Speaking of goofy shit and dick jokes, I don't know. I feel like this guy's probably made some dick jokes. Have you ever heard of the Henry Phillips cooking show?
Nope.
Oh man, I will say I won't fault you for not knowing it. It's a bit of a niche show, definitely one that I need to give you some homework on. It's this guy, and I think he's been running this YouTube channel for a while now. It's this guy who is cooking. I really, it's so hard to explain. He's cooking, but like the way that he's doing like the normal like cooking show thing where like he's cooking a meal, but his voiceover is so fucking funny. He'll be like, I think the most recent video that I watched is he was talking about, he was like, for whatever reason, the neighbors told me to, or the Airbnb that I'm staying in, right? The person who owns the house told me to just tell the neighbors that I'm their cousin, but I couldn't remember the name of the guy that I got the place from, so I just look like a lying asshole. And like shit, like he'll just say shit like that, right? It's like I just look like a jackass, and like that, and like so like I think what happened was is that we were talking about deadpan commentary or like deadpan jokes with the comedians that we were talking about last week or last episode. Sorry, not last week. And that kind of made me think of him. And so I went back and watched a couple of his videos and was just like, this guy's fucking great. And he has that same sort of like so serious, just completely deadpan. The delivery is spot on. That's my recommendation of the week is go watch the Henry Phillips cooking show.
Is that all he does, or is he like a comedian or something?
No,
or he's just a guy on YouTube.
I'm pretty sure he's just a guy. I think he's just like a normal dude on YouTube, which makes it even funnier. Like I think he's just got like a 9 to 5, like whatever. He's a little bit of an older guy, probably like in his 40s, 50s, but like he's just like cooking like normal shit, and like 9 times out of 10, it's just like I'm making eggs, or like we're making this. He couldn't in the last video that I watched when he's at this Airbnb, he couldn't figure out how to get the stove top to work. It was like an electric stove top. He's like, I don't know. So we're gonna now make this into a frittata. So it's like it's just like adapt, but also it's just funny that he just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. It's just really funny, weird little goofy guy. If anyone's looking for a recommendation, there you go of the episode. That's one of my. Go listen to what's the band that I've already forgotten the name.
It's Johnny Booth.
Johnny Booth. Go listen to Johnny Booth, and then after you listen to Johnny Booth, go watch Henry Phillips. Great guy.
Got to reconnect my VPN. Go back to Australia.
by tomorrow. Oh well, I guess if you want to listen to it tonight, yeah.
It's tomorrow at like Saturday morning at midnight is when it goes live on the streaming services.
Oh, that's way too long to wait.
So this afternoon and tomorrow, the only way to listen to it is on SiriusXM Liquid Metal. I think they're playing it at the top of every hour. It's a banger, though. It's a banger.
Banger. There you go.
You want me to give you a quick review?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so it starts off just pure speed and chaos, like amazing heavy thrash.
What kind of instruments are we working with?
It's a metal band, so guitar, bass.
They don't have any like
drums.
Saxophone or like flute solos.
No, honestly, Johnny Booth probably should invest in a saxophone because saxophone and metal goes hard.
Hell yeah.
I'll introduce you to a little band called Rivers of Nile.
Yeah.
Anyways, song starts off just pure chaos, dude. It's so fast and frantic. And then it just slows down kind of out of nowhere and goes into this funky, light, melodic like interlude, which Johnny Booth it's kind of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slides back into some heavy, but not as crazy as it was in the beginning. And then it goes into just this crushing breakdown at the end. And then the song just sort of ends. That's what Johnny Booth is, if anybody's curious.
Hell yeah. Is that kind of the blueprint that they've laid out with their music, where it's like it starts off kind of crazy and fast and then kind of just has a switch up at some point?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I dig that. I like groups that'll do that. The album that I've been listening to recently is Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q, and that's that album. That album is like there will be moments where like it starts off as one song and then feels like a completely different song and then transitions back into the original song, or sometimes it doesn't. Like oh man, it's a very weird feeling because like watching an artist kind of evolve over time is always weird to me. So like I think about Oxymoron
I love that.
and Blank Face, and now like into Blue Lips, like obviously and any of the collaborations he's had in between. But like watching that evolution and like seeing where he's at now, it's like, wow, like you got better. That's cool. I'm glad for that, right? Like, but also
I love that. I mean,
I don't have the
how I
mind.
listen to music and listen to an entire album from start to finish. So watching some of these bands that I've followed for years evolve and change and deviate, but still something like Norma Jean. Some people actually give Norma Jean shit because there's not a founding member left in the band. The band that is
Interesting.
now, nobody was there at the beginning of Norma Jean.
Huh.
The longest standing member is the vocalist Corey, and he came in. I think he started on their second album, but it might have been their third when he started being in the band. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting evolution.
Yeah.
And they've gone a lot of different ways. In some ways, they have heavier songs now than they did, and in some ways, they're a lot lighter, more melodic, kind of more. I guess the word I want to say is controlled. Almost like
Hmm.
they have all these abilities to play really heavy, crazy music, but they tamper it down to make a really good melodic song, and then they just explode into some craziness because that's metal.
Hell yeah. Hmm. It always surprises me, and I like that's why I like finding like newer or not even newer, but just like new artists that I've never heard of. Um, and I think about Strong Boy is one of the bands that I found in recent years. That's just this
Strong
Strong
boy.
Boy, boy spelled BOI, funnily enough.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and there that's just a group. The lead singer is this woman who's been performing for years and been doing music for years. Um, but then had this kind of collective thing where she released some music as under this title of Strong Boy, and it's like incredible music. And I'm like, wow, this is. But it's all just like I had never. I think that's why I like to explore. Like when people send me a recommendation, I'll absolutely listen to it no matter what. Um, because I never know what I'm gonna find that I'm gonna really really like. There's been recommendations. The Underachievers was a recommendation by a coworker, and I listened to it. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. And like, they just released it. Funnily enough, they just released a new album, like last week, which is fucking awesome. New
Nice.
Underachievers music finally.
Oh, was
Uh,
that announced and planned?
they had talked about the thing that is they had never set a date, but they had talked about they had been releasing singles and like saying like, hey, we're working on a new album, but like they didn't say shit, and then they just dropped the album, and I was like, ah, and I did. So day
Oh,
one, I
that's
just
so
listened to
good.
the whole thing. Um,
Yeah.
Solid album. So it's not their best work. It's not their worst work. It's a solid. And that's what I wanted from them. I didn't need the greatest album. I just needed like a solid Underachievers album. It's got some
Mm-hmm.
fucking bangers in there, and it's also got some just like solid songs. Like I think Megatron is one of my new favorite one of their releases in recent time, like all time. Like it's such an incredible song, which is off that new album. It's one of their singles that they released early, but solid album. So it's cool to be able to see that, as time flows. Because
Mm-hmm.
I the last
Mm-hmm.
thing I want is like, get into an artist and like you start going down there and it's like, I mean, I guess for some artists it might be okay, but like if it's been like 10 years, you better switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely some metal bands that I'll tell you a metal band called Amon Amarth. They're
Mm-hmm.
like Viking metal from Sweden. A lot of their music is like Viking themed,
Yeah.
and they kind of just put out the same exact album over and over and over again. That's their thing. That's what they do. Everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
It can get a little boring at times, but they also have some bangers.
Yeah.
But then something like I was saying with Norma Jean, dude, they have albums that are just ridiculously different, but you always get the sense like that is Norma Jean still, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily want your favorite band or a band you enjoy or an artist to change too much, but you also don't want them to stay exactly the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so interesting to watch. Is that evolution? It's exactly what I said.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely 100% agree. God damn. Well, shit, man. One of the things, kind of moving off of the music topic, one of the things I thought about, I wanted to bring this up to you on the podcast, we've been. So I guess I need to enlighten people who listen about kind of what's been going on behind the scenes. We've been talking, Kirby and I have been talking a lot about extra kind of bonus content that we want to put out, that isn't podcast related. We want to do some cool extra stuff. One thing I did want to ask you on the podcast that is podcast related is what do you think about like going on to like Reddit, right? Finding there's a subreddit called Ask Men, right? Where and one of the subreddits I found was talking about how like, what do you think the biggest problems for men are? Um, if we take one of those problems and we just fucking solve it, we just figure it the fuck
Oh,
out.
oh, easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
All right.
I love solving problems for all of humanity.
So one of the things that I think would be easy. Not easy. It's definitely not easy. None of these problems are fucking easy. One of the things
For
that
you.
well, okay, goddamn, all right, my bad. Um, we've talked a number of times before because I think about as we are kind of more we talk a lot more about general mental health, but at the end of the day, Kirby and I are both guys. We're both dudes, both men.
Good
Um,
dudes.
and I think, yeah, we're good dudes. I think at least we try to be good dudes. You know what I mean? Some days, if I'm playing Marvel Rivals, not a good dude. I hate my life and I hate everyone around me. But most of the time, we're trying to be good dudes. But so one of the problems I wanted to try and solve first is what do you think a solution is to like and I don't we don't need to get into it for like an hour, but like male loneliness. Like we've talked a lot about male loneliness, about especially younger guys nowadays. Like I guess think about it as like if someone were to write in and go, "Man, I'm just feeling so lonely and I don't know how to change that." Like what would your advice be to someone younger than you, a guy younger than you who's just feeling so lonely, feeling so lost and just unable to get out of that headspace?
Um, God, this might sound stupid, but I would like to think that everybody has at least one friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I suppose people could exist with literally no friends, and if that's the case, I'm sorry, I'm not helping you with this answer. Tell your best friend that you love him. Open that dialogue of I care about you deeply, and 99 times out of 100, I would think they will reciprocate if they're a good friend worth keeping.
Mm-hmm.
And once you kind of break down that barrier, I think it's a little bit associated with, sorry to use the term, but like toxic masculinity. We can never show weakness, we can never show emotion, fear, whatever. But once you break down that barrier and because I'm sure a lot of people at some point in their life feel like, oh, my parents hate me, my guardians, they don't actually like me, whatever. It's maybe a teenage thing or a younger person thing to feel that way. But when you have a solid friend who loves you and cares about you, and that you can be vulnerable with, it opens so many doors for you to look within. I don't think I would be who I am today if I didn't have my buddy Kevin, who love you, Kev.
Hell yeah.
I could talk to him about anything, anytime, any day. He's always there for me. I know he's got my back, even if the whole world goes to shit. So, I mean, it's easy to feel lonely sometimes, even if I'm pissed off at whatever. I know he's got my back.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the same thing really applies for you and a bunch of other friends, but he was kind of the OG for me.
Absolutely. No, I think we all get it. That's well, I should say when I say we all get it, I mean us in the friend group. Like we all understand. That's the pinnacle. I think I think it's very beautifully said. I really like what you're talking about with opening a dialogue and making yourself kind of bringing that guard down, because I think a lot of us kind of have a guard that we put up where it's like, I don't want to, I don't want to look like a pussy, right? I don't want to look,
Yeah.
and I think that can often sever ties, or we end up pushing people away because of that.
Yeah,
Um,
it isolates you.
absolutely. I think I've definitely had the same sort of feeling of like, yeah, especially my sleep schedule gets really fucked up very easily. So when I'm up at like 3 a.m. and I look over at Discord and everyone's offline, and I'm like, oh man, like I just have no one, and like and that's just my brain, that's just my brain talking to me. Um, you know, that's kind of me. I'm like, oh man, I just feel so alone and so like, I don't know. And it's very hard to deal with. It's very difficult. When I was looking through all of the list of the posts that I was looking at, it was very interesting to see the the way that that and the reason why wanted to talk about male loneliness first is because that was the thing. Like so many people were responding, I just feel so alone. Male loneliness. Like I don't know how to stop feeling alone. Um, and it's a very scary thing. It's a very scary thing to think that like, you know, there's 7 billion people in the world, right? Rough estimate. And we can somehow isolate ourselves to a point where, yeah, you feel like you're the only person in the world, right? Or you're the only person there and present. Um,
Or
I
you feel like you're the
completely,
only person who feels a certain way.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I definitely feel you when you talk about like I would not be the person that I am without the people who are around me. You know, my best friend Jacob, you know, the people I've had in my life, you, my parents, my loved ones, like all of the people that I've had in my life have all built me to be who I am today. And not having that is such a detrimental thing. So it's odd to think about like because I think you and I are both very sociable people. We're both pretty charismatic. We've made a lot of friends and so it's hard. I think it might be a little harder for us to be like, damn, I don't know what it's like to be like truly lonely because we've both had people and we've both been able to have people. Like I think for some guys it might be harder um to make that connections. So my follow-up question would be if it is hard, if you think it's hard for someone, like let's say, you know, someone doesn't have a friend, how would you go about like let's say tomorrow you got to go out and make a new friend, what do you think the steps are? And it doesn't have to be like you have to make that friend tomorrow, but like over time, what are you doing to kind of either build yourself up or to put yourself out there to then make a friend, right? Going to the gym.
Go to the gym.
Oh shit.
No, I mean, realistically, you'll find great people at the gym if
Yeah,
you are going regularly. You'll start seeing
absolutely.
people regularly, and it evolves. But that's not for everybody, and that's okay. Although it should be for everybody. Um, if I truly had no friends and I was dead set, I needed to go make some. That way, I can tell them I love them in the weirdest way possible. You're gonna have to determine what your interests are.
Mm-hmm.
Be that video games, I don't know, model airplanes, disc golf, football, whatever you're into, and you got to go to a place with that thing. And then you will meet at least somewhat like minded people. And I think there's a fairly high chance that if you are going to a place kind of dedicated to your interests, you're going to find a friend or somebody at least to talk to that evolves into a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly, you said it really, really well. I don't know. I've always had friends. It's comes fairly easy to us. So it's hard to put myself in the shoes of if I had literally no friends. If I didn't have my wife and my son and I was just sitting here alone, yeah, I would imagine the loneliness would set in pretty quick. So it also kind of feels like a thing of these are all just words. If you're truly in that spot, like we were saying earlier, are these words going to absorb or are you just going to hear them?
Yeah. And it may not be, it may be that you do hear them and this is just not the time that you need to hear them. Maybe you need to wait a couple years. Maybe it needs to be, you need to live your life and experience life. I think that's kind of the biggest lesson for me is that like experiencing life has allowed me to then live it properly, right? Or to live it in a fulfilling manner, right? Um, all the ups and downs. We talked a number of episodes back about, thoughts of taking yourself out, right? Not wanting to be here anymore. And the pact that I made with myself is I'm going to live this shit out no matter what, and see this to the end. And to get to that spot, I had to go through like the deepest of darkest of dark, awful things and then also have some of the best, most fantastic moments, not having internet at QuakeCon. Like, I still think that's always the funniest thing. Like, because it's just like, it makes you stop and just like, well, we're just gonna sit here like and shoot the shit and I'm here with all my boys and this is awesome and I wouldn't be here. And even if we don't have QuakeCon, fuck it, like we can, we'll figure it out. We can play AoE 2 on LAN or we'll fucking we're here together and that's what matters. So I think having gone through all that awful dark shit other than allows me to appreciate the fucking awesomeness, you know what I mean?
That's a really valid point. I think it was a South Park episode. I'm pretty sure Butters was saying like, well, if you don't have bad days, you can't enjoy the good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, wise ass Butters, man. Damn.
Wise Butters.
Holy shit. Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I know I kind of threw that out of left field for you, but it was something that I think, again, we've talked a lot off air, not on the podcast, about how we want to change things up a little bit. Put some vitality into time moment. Because if you don't change, you don't grow. If nothing changes, then you just stay your boring old self, and then life passes you by in an instant. We don't want to do that. We don't want time moment to just be the same thing. Yeah, we like shooting the shit, but it's something that, Kirby and I both deeply care about. So we want to fucking try things a little differently, do things a little goofy. but also
And we
still make
want to
dick
do
jokes.
things.
Dick
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah. A lot of dick
A lot of
jokes.
dick
Sorry,
jokes.
Silas's mom. Yeah, I mean, we got to keep it interesting for us as well as our fans, our growing legion of fans out there.
Yes. All 43 subscribers.
Hey, we got 43.
We have 40. We
Last
did.
I looked, it was 42.
It's
Let's
43.
go.
We're
Hey,
growing,
welcome,
baby.
welcome, new guy or gal,
Yeah, whoever
or
it
they,
is.
them, whatever you prefer.
Whatever. Hey, you're welcome here, baby.
You're welcome
Um,
here.
yeah, fuck, man. Speaking of newer things that we've been doing recently, do you want to start to wrap up? Maybe get into a bit of a hypothetical, theoretical sort of question, or what are you thinking? Or do you do you have
Yeah.
anything else you want to talk about?
You take ranked 2 seriously. Nope, I'm good.
All right. So this question, I already know the answer that you're going to give me. Funnily enough, but I did want to kind of lay this out because I found this interesting. I think
is it hit the gym?
No. Would you rather hit the gym or not hit the gym? No. So, and I don't remember. I actually legitimately don't remember why I thought of this. But it's funny because after I wrote this down, I really started to think about like who you are as a person. Like, I already know what the fuck he's gonna choose. I'm just an idiot who's gonna ask this question anyways. Like, I already know. So
Hit me with it.
the idea is, would you rather have all of the time that you want to explore either space or the ocean? Now, before I go further into that, I already know your answer. It's I know. I clearly didn't think about my audience before I asked the question. But I want to give you a couple facts, okay? There are some estimates. These are ocean facts starting off with. There are some estimates that suggest that only 20% of the seabed has been mapped, despite it covering about 71% of our planet, okay? There's also a significant portion of ocean species that remain undiscovered or unstudied, with thousands of new species being discovered every year. That's every year. There's thousands of. We just find more of these motherfuckers. Thousands.
Kind of exotic seahorse.
Well, it's just usually like subspecies, from what I understand. It's like, oh, this is within this family, and it's just like a little bit different than that. And anyways, on the space side, now this was really weird because so there are only a few thousand exoplanets, which are planets that orbit a star outside of our solar system. And of those and that's, I guess, within the Milky Way, from what I understand, I guess. I didn't register this. I didn't write down the scale, which I should have. But okay, I'm sorry. No, it's that we've observed. Sorry. There's only a few thousand exoplanets. Of those few thousand exoplanets, the number of exoplanets that have potential planetary habitability is only in like the double digits. Like the numbers that I was getting was like anywhere between like 50 and 70. The closest habitable or potentially habitable exoplanet is called Proxima Centauri B, and it is approximately 4.2 light years away, which is in astronomical units 268,322 AU, or I didn't write down the mileage because it was insane. It was like 2.1 to the, and then it had like the U or one of the letters that makes it like a bajillion. And with our exponential
exponent.
Yeah.
Exponential. Thank
you. And then with our current technology, it would roughly take about 75,000 years to travel to. Meanwhile, the moon is only 1.3 light years away, or light seconds away.
Yeah, light seconds. Yeah.
Just to give some grace, but again, I wrote all that shit down. I was so confident. I was like, this is gonna be so exciting because this is like a really, and then I forgot my audience. So go ahead, and I already know your answer.
I'm going to space, baby. Man, space is the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. I mean, if I had all the time, I'm
all the time in the world. Yeah,
and I just get to
pick.
What am I swimming through space like?
Well, it's traveling. So this is kind of where I was thinking about if you wanted to set rules for yourself of like you have modern technology, but maybe only like because I think about if you're exploring the ocean, we don't have the modern technology to go to the depths where we can actually. That's kind of the thing that's limiting us in a big way. That and obviously the ocean is extremely vast and massive, but a big part of it is the fact that we just don't have the technology to go to those extreme depths to then do proper mapping and discovery. and it's kind of the same way with with this with space, where it's like we can look at a ton of shit, right? We have, telescopes that are going, reaching further and further as we, expand our technology, but getting there is like completely impossible. So I guess you have to think about the reason why I put the time is like, I'm thinking about like, if you left today, on in today's, like, let's say you got enough, somehow you have enough fuel and everything for 100,000 years worth of travel. But then after that 100,000 years, you got to figure it the fuck out, right? Whether you're finding fuel in some other place or whatever for space travel. Whereas for ocean travel, you have to help develop the technology to then go deeper. Like, I don't know what you'd rather do.
I mean, the ocean's cool, but I'm thinking I won't get eaten by a space shark if I'm swimming around exploring in space.
You don't know?
So I'm going to go back to my own interpretation of this. Screw yours. I'm
Okay.
immortal.
Yeah,
I'm
okay, yeah.
immortal, and I don't need
Are
oxygen.
you swimming through space?
No, I would need a spaceship because it's going to turn that like 75-year trip to hundreds of years. That's
Okay.
just boring, and I won't have good Wi-Fi. Maybe Elon could fix up Starlink, and I could play Marvel on my way. Be pretty cool.
So let me if you're gonna go with that, what starship are you taking? Let's go into fantasy now. What starship? You taking like
Ooh.
the Enterprise? Are you taking like a
Um,
Millennium Falcon type ship? What do you? Do you want a Star Cruiser? Do you want like a whole crew with you? Do you want like the
hell no.
Nostromo where you have hypersleep and you're just asleep the whole time?
That would probably be honestly the best way to go.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get fucked up by a xenomorph, and I feel like if you're taking the Nostromo, you're just asking for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Realistically, though, I'm gonna take my spaceship out of Elite
I
Dangerous.
fucking knew it was gonna come. I knew it.
I'm taking my Anaconda, and we're gonna fly, baby. And you don't have to worry about fuel. I got a fuel scoop,
Oh,
so I just need to
perfect.
find a certain variety of star, and I could just safely scoop fuel and keep going forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, space is the answer. I don't know why. In my mind, that's the only answer because we know what's in the ocean. It's water and rocks and dirt and old ships and like skeletons and fish.
You don't
But
think
we
there's like a
don't know what's
portal
in
down
space.
there that leads to another dimension? What if there is? What if there's a portal down there that leads to another dimension? That's technically part of the ocean, so then you have to explore that dimension.
And now you immediately piqued my mind into like, that's doom and it's a portal to hell.
Gotta
Which
explore
honestly is
hell
pretty
now.
metal. I would go explore hell. Just see what's going on down there.
That's the thing
What up,
is
Satan? What up, cuz?
what up, cuz? What up, my red homie? It's so. I think the main reason why I kind of pose both. Obviously, they're two very vastly in terms of the amount of time it would take to explore, provided you had the technology, right? It wouldn't take that long to explore the ocean if you had like really solid technology. Like this, if you had the same technology to explore space, you probably have a technology to explore the ocean. But we just don't know. Like we don't know what's down there. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what could be in on our own planet. And I think that's kind of why I posed it in that way. It's like there's two unknowns. Which are you exploring, right? Because yeah, I'm the same way. I'd probably explore space.
I just,
It's way cooler.
I'm not, it's way cooler, but I'm
Yeah.
not of the mindset that there's probably anything insanely cool in the ocean. I mean,
What if there
you get down there, it's like,
is
ooh, that's a huge squid. Cool, I guess.
Atlantis, a whole new society down there? You
Okay,
have
now
no
if
clue about.
Atlantis is down there,
We wouldn't
the
know.
mer people from Dave the Diver are down there.
They're just like observing us. Bird.
They
They're
have
the
the
ones who sent the
technology and we
birds
don't.
up. Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
they're observing us. I mean,
But if you
obviously,
travel into space and you can travel to vast, impossible distances, you're gonna see some crazy shit.
yeah,
Like a planet that is all diamond because of the pressure.
yeah.
The whole planet's basically turned into diamonds and it rains diamonds. That's a real thing. Go look it up. That's fucking cool. I want to go there.
I want to go there. Sounds sick. I
Or the exoplanet you were talking about in Centauri. I've read a lot about that. That has like potential for life.
yeah,
And I could travel over there and find out like, oh, there's a cockroaches running around or something stupid.
yeah. It's like a small primitive
Or
species.
it could be people. It could be aliens.
Could be
There could be a whole other
aliens.
human civilization there. Possible. Could be demons.
We
The portal at the
demons.
bottom of the ocean to hell could lead you to the diamond planet. That could be hell. Holy shit. If they cross like that and you pick either one, then you got to explore both.
Yeah. Well, all I was thinking is like, you go to an alien planet and it's like an ocean planet. Well, it's like, now you got to explore this fucking ocean. Like, there's a lot of discrepancies. I think about Subnautica. I think about I've played Subnautica 1 and 2. Well, I guess 2 is technically coming out, but Subnautica and then Below Zero, and both are such fantastic games to me that the ocean seems cool, and it seems like I think I would have rather explored like prehistoric ocean, right? Back when there was big motherfuckers swimming around, crazy. Which maybe that's how I should have posed it, is like if you could explore it at any time. But I think like getting to see like really massive creatures when it was an oxygen rich environment, kind of like colossally moving their way around. That would have been a really cool experience for me. Versus like space is cool, but I feel like it's just a lot of downtime. It's a lot of traveling in between planets. I think about like any space game that I've played ever, where it's like the downtime is always the travel in between. Once you get to the planet, then like, yeah, it's cool, but before then it's like, oh Jesus Christ, what are we fucking getting there? Fuck me. Like, I don't know. But I'd probably still pick space. Space is way fucking cooler.
Because you don't know what's there. We
Yeah.
know if I have the technology to go to the bottom of the ocean right now, I'm going to find old Mountain Dew cans.
The only thing surviving that pressure is Mountain Dew cans.
I mean, or some form of trash that some human has thrown out.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of like, I'm picturing like the mobster movies where they cast your feet in cement and throw you down there.
Yeah.
So just some like
Some
floating skeletons at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Would a skeleton float? No, skeletons don't float.
I don't think so. I think by then I don't know. Do bones float?
You've watched enough Law and Order, dude. Come on.
No, the bodies will float, but I don't think the bones do. I think bones will sink.
Okay. So it'd be like floating at the bottom of the ocean, and then as the flesh peels away, it just like deflates.
Well, I think I'm curious about. I want to know like how pressure would affect something like that. Like, because pressure is a very again.
Oh yeah.
A big reason why we haven't gone, I'll say it again, is the fact that there's too much, the pressure is too strong down there. We can only go to certain depths. It's why you hear about like deep sea accidents happening. It's usually like an instant implosion, when it does happen, right? It's like it's over. Like they had zero chance of surviving.
You're talking about the Titanic.
Well, any sort of deep sea accident is like, there was the mining accident that happened where they were doing deep sea mining, and one of the guys fucked up depressurizing the chamber, and they fucked up repressurizing the chamber, and it depressurized, and it shot open the door, and they all got sucked out, and in an instant they all got vacuumed, right? And just like, you're done. Or even the billionaire fucking the submarine, they just found it.
Yeah. Blue Origin?
Yeah, Blue Origin, I think it was. And it was an instant. Like, they were gone. The moment that there was any sort of... And that's just, like, where we're at, where, like, the technology just isn't there to sustain those deep pressures. The human body just can't fucking deal with any sort of pressure. Like, there's all sorts of things with diving that I've learned about where, like, you can't surface too quickly. Otherwise, it'll boil your blood, basically. Like, it'll...
Yep.
Repressurizing really fucks you up.
That's why you can't go scuba diving and then jump on a plane.
Yep. No. You gotta wait, because otherwise your fucking lungs will burst and shit. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. The ocean's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Pressure.
That's why I'm going to space.
And space isn't scary. The cold, empty.
Nah.
One of the one of the things that I was one of the videos recently that I was watching was talking about how astronauts won't feel this like sense of like, oh, there's this beautiful blue pearl whenever they go up into space. They feel like a huge sense of dread and loneliness because of how empty and dark and bleak space is. Like, yeah, there's so much out there, but like it's so fucking far away from us. And like, but the result of that is then they go, we need to take care of this motherfucking planet that we're on now, right? Like, we need to actually care about our home, which is always interesting to me. But yeah,
stop throwing Mountain Dew cans and bodies in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just very, very odd, very interesting. I think
I
yeah,
also just think there's no predators in space. You just have to avoid the sun, and stay in your little warm spacesuit. If you're in the ocean, there's 100 things that'll just rip you to shreds.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of the dark forest theory?
The
That
dark
the
forest?
the reason that nothing when they talk about how we're like regularly sending signals out and frequencies out to see if we get anything back, and the reason we haven't heard anything back is because everything else is hiding, and one of these days we're gonna be stupid enough to catch the attention of what they're hiding from. So the idea is that there are other civilizations out there. They're just smart enough to not fucking make themselves known. You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't buy that.
You don't think
Because
so?
that would imply that there is some sort of like a super race out there that has figured out space travel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I feel like if that exists, we'd be able to pick it up.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of unexplained shit that happens in space. There's so much shit like that we just have no fucking clue why it happens. Um, there's sections of space that are just dark and we don't know why. Like there's just it's like why the fuck is there nothing there? Clearly, there's got to be something there. You know, I don't know.
Or there was something there
Or
a
yeah,
billion years ago. It's a star that imploded and turned into a black hole.
yeah, yeah. The way
Black
that
holes are scary.
black holes are
You know
scary as
what?
their fuck.
I lied. There is predators in space. You have
Yeah.
to avoid stars and you have to avoid black holes.
Think about what even if you do come across a planet with life on it, you have no idea what life is like for them. They could
Or if
be.
they're even just like a carbon based life. Or maybe
Yeah,
you get there and you got some like Groots running around.
yeah, yeah.
I said I didn't want to go to the ocean because I would be worried about a shark biting my ass. But I guess with my luck, I'd probably find an ocean planet with nothing but sharks.
Yeah, it's just made of sharks. Oh shit. It's a weird. I think it's definitely one of those things where it's like it could go either way. I always think of the quote of like I can't remember what fucking movie or show it's from where he's like, I can't wait to go. I think it's Jay and Silent Bob or something like that, where it's like, can't wait to go and find a new alien race and fuck it. And like that's
Yep.
always what I dove back to of like, oh god, it would just turn into fucking how can I have sex with this thing?
You never know. Maybe that Alpha Centauri B has just a whole race of nothing but the sexiest aliens we've ever
Sexy
seen.
as it. And they're gonna be like not in the traditional form of sexy. It's like, why am I so attracted to this like goop? This goop person. I don't know what it is. That goop looking fine,
I picture
girl.
like the green sludgy guys from Futurama.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I am turned on right now,
I
and I don't know why.
think about how nudie magazines are changing. As time goes on after it's like just like goop monthly.
I'm picturing like you open the magazine and some goop just comes sliding out. Oh, that's the stuff.
You're just like taking it like, oh yeah. We'd be the ones to find like some like odd aphrodisiac on a planet and then get super addicted to, like humans would be, and not us as well, probably us too, but
Probably us.
humans in general would be the ones to like not only find a race of beautiful, just like unassuming aliens, but be like, I'm addicted to snorting these guys' horns. I don't know what it is. I just love it. Oh man, their toenail clippings. It's crazy. It's like better than cocaine. I love it.
You guys aren't gonna believe this. I found a planet, and all of the women are made of cocaine.
They're made of cocaine. They're just made of it. It's amazing.
You
Holy
just give
shit.
them a hug and smell them.
Yeah. Your day is great. I don't know what's happening. God, you don't understand. We gotta go back. We need to go back right now. No, I can't go into hypersleep. It wouldn't affect me. I knew we'd be able to.
You're laying back in the hypertube trying to fall asleep and you're just vibrating.
Fuck, I can't wait to be back. I knew we'd find a way to involve dicks and space exploration or Ocean
That
exploration.
was that was the first direct mention of a dick since the hypothetical was spoken.
True, but some way or somehow, I feel like it's
We
almost a necessity, right?
we did talk about goopy porno mags with
True.
aliens in it though, so masturbation's pretty close.
Holy shit! See, before back in the day, back in my day, we used to worry about our porno mags being sticky. Now that's not the case.
Now it's desirable. They come pre-sticky. It's a selling point.
Holy shit! The stickiest
What color is the
magazines on the
goop?
block. Oh, I don't know. Do you think?
It has to come in the plastic wrap because it's just filling the bottom.
I think about like cognac dipped cigars. They have like a special tube. Yeah, there's a special like tube. It's supposed to be like it adds flavor, but they have like a special tube that they come in so like they don't get fucking
Wait,
cognac everywhere.
does that make it like explode?
No, it just changes the flavor
Extra
profile.
flammable? That's
No,
alcohol.
they're dipped in there and then it dries and then you fucking smoke it. No, it doesn't make it like super flammable.
I got that mental image of like the cartoon, like
I think it's only like the tip is end. It's not the full. Or maybe it is. I can't remember the last time because I went with a buddy of mine and he went and got cognac dipped cigars, but I don't think they like submerged it. But I think they kind of like did the.
huh.
Yeah, it was a very odd and interesting. I had never heard of it until we was in California and we went and did that. I was like, oh, interesting. Never. Some little like rinky dink cigar place that was actually like it was one of those places that like from the outside it looks like a shithole and then you go inside it's like, oh, this is magical. It was really cool.
Like a cigar bar.
Yeah, yeah, it had like
Nice.
nice seating and just kind of like a whole back room where they had the air controlled stuff, and then they had like a specialty section of like
And everybody was
the
wearing
higher
like
end.
suspenders on a cummerbund.
Yeah, that I imagine they would have been. Well, they had like a bunch of pictures with the owner and all these like famous Hollywood people that all smoke
And he had a
cigars.
fat mustache, right?
No, I think it was a lady. I think it was like an older lady.
Oh,
Um, for whatever
did she
reason.
have an impressive mustache?
No, unfortunately
How
not.
are you going to own a cigar bar and not have the sickest mustache?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's got to be a requirement.
Well, funnily enough, I feel like every cigar bar that I've been to, I haven't been to a ton, but the ones that I've been to, I don't think I've ever seen anybody with like, no one that works there with like a sick mustache. I don't know what's happening. Times are
We
changing,
need more.
man.
We need more sick mustaches in the world. Like I don't want to do it, but I want more people to do it.
True, true. There's a couple people that I follow on TikTok that have really fucking awesome mustaches, and then watching them upkeep that is always really interesting because it's
Watching
definitely
them, yeah, upkeep makes me want to not do that.
yeah, exactly. It's
My
the
beard gets too long and I can't deal with it.
it's the biggest turnoff. There's this one guy that I watch who, oh man, I wish I could remember his name, but he drinks, so he'll drink liquor, and does it. He's a Englishman, and he does it in a way that's like very professional, and he has this way about him where he talks very informatively about whatever he's drinking. But there was one where he was talking about Jägermeister, and he was like, I'm gonna try it in 3 different ways. I'm gonna try it chilled, I'm gonna try it cold, and I'm gonna try it hot, because he had tried Jägermeister before, but he tried it not chilled. And people were like, no, you need to drink it chilled. That's the best way to do it. And so then he tried it chilled. But then he was like, well, now I'm curious. What if I do it? And he'd like slam like 7 or 8 shots like in a row. And I'm talking about, this is like a not even 5-minute video of Jägermeister. And like, I'm just like, what a job, what a career to have built for yourself, on social media, just to fucking drink Jaeger for hours at a time. What a maniac.
Yeah, I don't. As much fun as that sounds, I don't think that would be good for me.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not good for anybody, I feel like.
I mean, maybe, but definitely not good for me.
It did make me want to try a hot Jägermeister shot. I feel like it'd be kind of
No.
yucky, but why not?
No.
They,
Dude, I
there's-
drank a lot of Jaeger when I was 21, and Jaeger and Red Bull. I
I've
probably
only-
have one of those right now. Who am I kidding?
I feel like I've only ever had Jaeger like once or twice in my life. Like, it's just not something that's ever been
Jaeger bomb.
present. Yeah,
That's the term I was looking for.
never really had a Jaeger bomb. Oh, I mean, maybe once, but like, just not really. Jaeger was never like. I think I had it once. I was like, that's not for me. Not anything against Jaeger. I do want to try warm brandy. I think that'd be interesting. They have special brandy warmers that you can get that are specifically to warm
would-
your brandy.
I would try it. I don't think I would enjoy it. I'm just not a fan of really hot drinks in general.
Really?
Hot coffee? No thanks.
No shit. Not hot cocoa in the wintertime?
Maybe. Probably not though.
Really? Learn something new every
Dude,
day.
I'm picky about. Dude, I will not drink a room temperature soda. You could pay me because
Really?
I'm poor. I'm poor, but fuck that. I've seen you with your camera on, sitting there, just reach over and grab a ginger ale from the side of your desk, and I'm like, "Ugh."
This
It's gotta
is
be cold.
This is warm. This is
Right?
warmed up now. It was cold when I opened it. But
It's cold drinks, cold beverages, ice cold.
doesn't bother me. I will say, on the other end of that spectrum, I won't eat cold pizza unless I have
What?
to. Yeah, I don't like
What?
cold pizza. It always has to be
Cold
warmed
pizza
up.
is awesome.
Nope,
It gets. I'm not gonna say it's better,
it's not.
but it's
better.
really good.
No, hell no. I would rather heat it up. I want it. I want the cheese to be like a little melty. Like it doesn't have to be like hot, but I want it warm. I don't want it to be cold.
I'll tell you a weird one that our dear friend Bubba Gump turned me on to.
Whoa, God.
You get really spicy, boneless chicken wings.
Okay.
Eat whatever you want. Put the rest in the fridge, and later you just grab it right out the fridge
Oh
cold.
my God,
Dude, it's so good because it's like it's spicy, but it's cold.
You know what's funny is I've done that before, out of necessity, because there was one year at QuakeCon when I had Duff's wings. And I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to make it home with these. So I just ate them cold. Or like, oh, I realized we didn't have a microwave, and the only microwave is like you have to go downstairs. I'm like, I'm not doing all that shit. So I just ate them, and I'm like, this is not the best way. Like,
I don't know if I would want them like a bone-in wing cold.
they were bone-in wing cold, and it was like,
You need the boneless.
I'm not going to Duff's and getting fucking boneless wings. That's just not happening.
Fair point.
So,
Well,
shit. I think we would love to sit here and talk to you.
No.
Oh shit.
No.
Oh God.
I'm going to be posting a poll on Spotify of our theoretical here. If anybody would like to comment and leave us your opinion on it, you know, if you wanna hang out with the sharks here on Earth or the sharks in my theoretical space planet, let us know there.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. You know, appreciate that.
Hell
Anytime.
yeah.
Appreciate you all for listening. And I wanted to throw a little teaser out for the next episode of Time Well Meant. That will be number 25.
God damn.
So here's your hint. Yeehaw. Make sure you tune in.
Oh my God. Close it out.
I've killed my co-host, so we would just absolutely love to sit here and bullshit about space sharks and earth sharks and Mountain Dew cans and how pressure works in the ocean. But I think that was time well meant.
I have been dialed in to this drama.
Communication is